Hello there. Well, Liz Truss certainly decided to live up to her Michael Gove-inspired human hand grenade nickname, didn't she? Now, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and then like and comment below. And please stay to the end, because Richard has an update on it. And you know what I mean by it, don't you? So Liz Truss is gone, and this WEF Remainer coup has the potential to turn very nasty. And we even have a late entrant into the fray to really spice things up. And aside from the Prime Minister stepping down, losing her Home Secretary, and having the shortest term as PM in history, last night's physical altercations in Parliament prove this must be the end of the Tory party. So Liz Truss has declared that she will be stepping down as Tory party leader and Prime Minister, but will, as normal, stay on until her successor is found. But she also said that she's giving the party a week to elect someone to replace her. Just 1 week, until next Friday to be exact. As I read it, Liz Truss has just bounced the 1922 committee and Tory MPs into either selecting a new leader in a week or face a general election this year. Remember, it was her that called the meeting with the 1922 committee chairman Sir Graham Brady, the Tory party chairman Sir Jake Berry, and her deputy PM Therese Coffey. So I reckon she had it all planned out and had already contacted the palace to forewarn the king. She was going to dictate the pace of her resignation. Here's her short statement. No tears, but lots of confidence. And just look at the smile hovering in the background, and look at the smile breaking out across her face as she delivers the final part of her speech, the bit where she gives her colleagues in Parliament just a week to sort their show out.
I came into office at a time of great economic and international instability. Families and businesses were worried about how to pay their bills. Putin's illegal war in Ukraine threatens the security of our whole continent, and our country has been held back for too long by low economic growth. I was elected by the Conservative Party with a mandate to change this. We delivered on energy bills and on cutting national insurance. And we set out a vision for a low-tax, high-growth economy that would take advantage of the freedoms of Brexit. I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party. This morning I met the chairman of the 1922 committee, Sir Graham Brady. We've agreed that there will be a leadership election to be completed within the next week. This will ensure that we remain on a path to deliver our fiscal plans and maintain our country's economic stability and national security. I will remain as Prime Minister until a successor has been chosen. Thank you.
Now that looks like someone who is quietly pleased with themselves, doesn't it? A nice bit of revenge on those fellow MPs that knifed her in the back, maybe. I think there'll be some spitting of feathers over the next few days about this, as they are forced to choose someone who the majority of them will hate in order just to keep their seats. For now. And she has that power because the law was reverted back from the 2011 Tory Lib Dem coalition laws on calling elections to the old prerogative powers of the PM to call an election when they want one. They don't need anyone's permission to do so. Well, except the King's, of course. And if she feels that no one in her parliamentary party can hold the confidence of their own party MPs, let alone the whole House, within a week, then going to the country in a general election is probably the only way to settle it. This gives Tory MPs only until next Friday to choose just one candidate who can then go straight to the palace to kiss hands. And one thing that might concentrate their minds is that there are rumours that a certain Bojo is considering running in this contest. Oh yes, he's still causing ripples even from a beach far away in the Caribbean. Hasta la vista, baby, as he said in his resignation speech just a few months back, channeling the famous line, "I'll be back." Now that really would bring certain quarters of our political classes out foaming at the mouth, wouldn't it? In fact, as I put this video together, there is more and more credence being given to this particular scenario, with the thought that he would be the main Stop Rishi candidate, and in many eyes, back to get Brexit done properly this time. And in all of this, he is the only person with a proper election mandate and an 80-seat majority to lead the Tories and become the Prime Minister again. But the trouble with that is the UK electorate. If the Tories allow Boris back, would they get an even bigger drubbing than already predicted at the next general election? Now, there is no way that the Tory party membership can be involved in any realistic manner given the narrow time frame involved in this election. There has been talk of some sort of online vote right at the end, but how many elderly Tory party members, for example, would that exclude? And even if MPs rallied round a single candidate just to keep their seats, how long would that last? The ferrets in a sack activity would just continue against whoever they chose. Up until now, there has been absolutely no sign that those Tory MPs can stand behind a unity candidate, because they don't have a unity candidate. And if they do end up with two candidates standing right at the end, they will once again be at the mercy of their membership, if that's at all workable in 8 days. I just cannot see that being allowed, much to the ire of the membership, of course. And what will we end up if they do gel behind just one candidate? The least worst candidate? The truth is that the Tory party is now totally ungovernable. Those MPs will turn on each other time and again, causing deep and unnecessary damage to the UK and its people. But the real problem in all of this is that we have a totally unsuitable rabble sitting opposite them in the form of Keir Starmer's Labour Party. And I gather there is manoeuvring in the background to get rid of Starmer, or force him to move much further to the left, if he's not there already. We're on track to get the hammer and sickle flying over number 10. Anyway, are we about to see a finale of political bloodletting within the Tory party over the next 8 days? And we won't know much about the way ahead until the 1922 committee has published the rules on how this leadership election will work. Now, Jeremy Hunt has said he won't be standing for leader, but he is due to make this big financial statement on Monday the 31st, just 11 days away. And that's the Monday after the new leader is meant to be in place, just 3 days before. So whoever comes in would presumably have to either stick with Jeremy Hunt as Chancellor together with his statement, or delay the whole process while a new cabinet is formed. And that would not go down well in the country or with the financial markets. And the Bank of England's next interest rate decision follows just a few days later, on the 3rd of November. That's all very tight. So, could Boris really make the phoenix-like comeback that he hinted at? You can imagine the membership demanding their MPs back Boris, couldn't you? And he might be the only candidate that the membership would be happy to see go through without them voting. But can even Bojo save the Tory party from a total implosion while saving Brexit? Now it's over to Richard for an update on it. And you all know what I mean by it.
Thank you, Jeff, and good evening. So, the European Union has approved it for use on babies, and that means if you're over 6 months old, you may be lucky enough to partake in the mass medical experiment currently sweeping the globe. All I can say is thank goodness we aren't in the EU anymore. Oh wait, we now have a Remainer cabinet which is about to fall to a Remainer Labour government, so I suspect we will have Brexit in name only very soon, as we hand power back to Brussels via the back door. Something very sinister is going on. You can feel it. Right now every instinct is telling you that nothing adds up anymore in world events, but if you can't sense something is amiss, then I am afraid you have had one medical intervention too many. So what can we do to protect our infants from it? Well, if we follow the EU health chiefs who have made this decision to give it to our babies, and our Remainer government follows suit, well, there is very little we can do, I'm afraid, because the die has been cast globally, and nothing short of a global revolution can protect them from it, as the administration of it removes that which protects our young from harm. We weren't able to protect our teenagers from it because, well, let's face it, because we are a nation of cowards. But now our newborns face being euthanized before their lives have even begun. We have collectively rolled over, and many rolled up their sleeves and the sleeves of their children. And we will do what the globalist agenda says. Oh yes, we will. We have no control over our economy. The IMF decides that, as the mini-budget reversal has proven. But now it seems we have no control over what happens to our own bodies, as the WHO and world governments collude with drug companies to reduce our numbers. And recipients of it will get social credits. And if we don't comply, our social credits will be pulled. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm a few years ahead of myself there. Anyway, back over to Jeff.
Thank you for that update on it, Richard. And finally, when subscribing, please don't forget to press that little bell and also select the all option, or you won't get any notifications when I publish a new video. And thank you all so much for taking the time to watch the show.